All right, you guys, we're back at you with another video. On today, it is the Keeping It Raw podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, click the bell so that you'll be notified whenever we put up an upload. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to do a deep dive on running back Jahmyr Gibbs, as I got a chance to burn the midnight oil and watched a lot of film on Jahmyr Gibbs because I really wanted to know what type of running back Jahmyr Gibbs really is. Well, as doing my research, doing my study, and formerly being a running back myself, wow, this dude is dynamic, man. The Detroit Lions could possibly have the steal of the draft with Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, I know some people may say, okay, this kid never rushed over 1,000 yards, or he didn't, or he came close to rushing over 1,000 yards, whatever you want to say. The workload that he's going to get with the Lions, I don't know this season. I know he's going to be dynamic with the ball in his hands. He can take it to the house from anywhere on the field. He is dynamic when it comes to catching the football. He's an elite catcher of the football. And what I think Jahmyr Gibbs is ultimately, at the end of the day, is going to give Detroit, it's going to be the healthier version of DeAndre Swift. If you want to say it in a nutshell, I think that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be the healthier version of DeAndre Swift. We know how dynamic Swift was with the ball in his hands. We know that Swift was a home run threat. We knew that he had elite pass catching ability out of the backfield. And when Brad Holmes decided to take Jahmyr Gibbs, a lot of us was initially shocked because, you know, you always hear that you don't take running backs in the first round. But I say you take whatever player you want to make your team better. You know, throw the narratives out the window, man. I get so sick and tired of the narratives, man, about, you know, players and stuff like that. Well, he didn't play at a big school, so he didn't go against any competition and blah, blah, blah. Man, throw that stuff away. Throw it out the garbage. Throw that stuff in the garbage, man. People critique these guys as like they can't change or they can't make a difference. Just because you go to a smaller school or whatever like that, and I'm not saying Jahmyr Gibbs, just because you go to a smaller school, that doesn't mean that you can't ball. It just means that the opportunity for you to go to a bigger school was not presented to you. So you had to go down the road that you had to go down, whether you played in Division II, Division III, or if you played in the FBS, whatever you had to do, FCS, whatever you had to go, whatever route, you know. And I'm talking about, you know, guys that come to the league in different type of formats and different ways. But when I look at the tape and I contemplate on watching how dynamic this guy is, the Lions may have gotten a steal in this draft. Jahmyr Gibbs is that dude. I really had to go back and watch his film to say, why would Brad Holmes make a decision as a GM to take a running back 12 overall when most people did not think that he would do such a thing? He did two things this year that a lot of people didn't think that he was going to do. Number one, draft a running back in the first round, and number two, draft a linebacker in the first round. Because there was reports coming out a few months ago saying that Brad Holmes did not value the linebacker position, and he thought that pretty much you can get a linebacker in the third, fourth round, things of that nature. But he really didn't value the position. But when you really look at it, you go for the best players that's going to make your team better. And I know some of the other linebackers on the team was wondering why Jack Campbell was drafted, just like they asked Calvin Shepard, why did you guys take a linebacker so early? And you have to understand is that the Detroit Lions are trying to get better. In order to get better, you got to get the best players. And Jack Campbell was the nation's leading tackler. He was one of the, if not the best linebacker, he was definitely up there with them. He was top of the line, top linebacker in the nation in college football. And for the Detroit Lions to add a talent like that to the team, man, is phenomenal. But I want to get back to Jahmyr Gibbs because Jahmyr Gibbs is going to give the Detroit Lions a healthier version of DeAndre Swift. Hear me again, people. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to give the Lions a healthier version of DeAndre Swift. As long as this kid can stay healthy, he's going to tear this league up. With his ability to catch out of the backfield, his ability to go into the slot and be a receiver, his ability to be dynamic wherever he's at, and he's a home run threat wherever he gets the ball. If he's catching the ball out of the backfield, he's a threat. But the biggest thing is, to me, how good would Jahmyr Gibbs be as a runner? That's the biggest question that I have for Jahmyr Gibbs. How good is he running the football? You know, Alvin Kamara, he's pretty good running the football, and we know that he's dynamic with catching the football out of the backfield as well. But will Gibbs give the Detroit that type of identity that Jahmyr Gibbs almost gave the Lions seasons ago before he got all those concussions? Will he be that home run threat that whenever he touches the ball, it terrifies teams? The Lions have been looking for these players for a long time, guys that make you afraid. And I think that Jahmyr Gibbs is a guy that can make you very afraid because of how versatile he is. I think that this kid is going to be dynamic. If the Detroit Lions utilize him in the right way, this kid should have at least 50 to 60 receptions out of the backfield this season. He should be well over 700 or 800 yards rushing. And I'm saying he should at least be at 700 yards, 500 to 700 yards catching out of the backfield. They could also use him as a punt returner. They can use him as a kick returner. However the Detroit Lions want to use him, because they're looking at him as an offensive weapon, they can use him in that way because he's dynamic. But the greatest thing that I want to know, and the sincere question that I have, is how good will Jahmyr Gibbs be as a running back, running the football, because we need that. We need a dynamic running back. We've been needing it for years. We've drafted so many running backs. None of them really panned out the way you thought that they would pan out, from Kerryon Johnson to DeAndre Swift, Lakel Mashore, all of these different running backs that we had. I hope, that Jahmyr Gibbs terrifies this league, because what I saw on film from this kid from Georgia Tech, what I saw from Alabama, man, is a dude is dynamic. He's electrifying with the ball in his hands, and he's going to give the Detroit Lions ultimately the offense that they've been looking for a very long time, and that's to be able to have a home run threat and a guy that is dangerous. You mark my words, and what I'm saying to you right now, if the Detroit Lions utilize Jahmyr Gibbs in the right form and fashion, Gibbs could be a star in this league. If Ben Johnson utilizes Jahmyr Gibbs in the right way, this kid can instantly be a star and a stud for this team. His ability to do the things that he's able to do and what he's capable of doing out on the football field is what the Detroit Lions been needing for a long time. Somebody dynamic. Somebody that can do something with the ball in their hands. Somebody that can score from anywhere on the field, whether they're catching or running the football. Jahmyr Gibbs is the real deal. The tape definitely don't lie. As I've watched the film from him playing at Georgia Tech and watching the film from him playing at Alabama, I see why the Lions made the pick. It's a no-brainer, man. This kid is very skilled, he's very talented, and he reminds you of Jameson Williams with the ball in his hand at running back. You see how dynamic J-Mo was when he was at Alabama, catching the ball and running. When you see Gibbs run the football, he reminds you of J-Mo with the ball in his hands. And I can't even lie to you. So I see why the Detroit Lions made the decision to take him 12 overall. It's a no-brainer, man. You have to get talented. You got to get talent on both sides of the ball, whether it's offensively or defensively. Gibbs is going to give the Detroit Lions something that they need. But not only that, I'm hoping that David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs could be the new Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. We knew how good Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara complemented each other. And I think that Gibbs and Montgomery can do the same this season. So, all right, guys, leave it in the comment section on what you think Gibbs will do. What will be his stats? What is he going to do this season with the Detroit Lions? And what will the Detroit Lions do with Montgomery and Gibbs? All right, you guys, I'm out of here. Peace.